Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have waited a long time. In fact, I've waited an hour and 20 minutes for this. And many of you just now getting here, lucky you. We have a best of 5 between Viper and TaToH. I want to point this out for YouTube. YouTube, if you're seeing this game and you're not seeing Game 2, Game 3, Game 4, it's because those games were not, in my opinion, worthy of a separate upload. But what I'm doing is I'm putting the entire best of 5 in a separate video in the video description. So you can click that. It will be unlisted, so you have to actually see this video, look in the description, and click that link. This is something I'm going to be doing more and more often, guys, because I recognize that you guys want to see the best of 11s, best of 9s, but sometimes the games just aren't worthy of a big YouTube video. So I'm uploading them all. I'm just not making them all public, right? This map right here, my friends, is called El Dorado. It's a really cool map. I was just talking about fun facts with the stream here, and we were talking about hill bonuses. Well, villagers collect from fish faster than they do a boar. So you'll see the players forget about the boars until they take these marlins. A Viper is going out to this wood line here. This map also has gold and stone. There's not a ton, and look what they can see in their line of sight in the middle. There's stone and gold there. The other interesting part about this is that you can see when your opponent makes a move for the center. TaToH's here. He's playing as the Indian, so it is Indians versus the Portuguese. Now I want to show you a bonus here. Where is it? Fishermen work 15% faster and carry plus 15 for Indians. So TaToH, we did a Civ draft. TaToH got Indians. I'm a little bit surprised he's gone for the boar, but anyway, when he does collect his food from the fish, he will bring it in pretty fast. I've seen this map quite a few times. The build orders are relatively standard. We see a lot of scouts. Because of the amount of food, players click up pretty early, but we do see a lot of scout builds and then normal transitions into archers and maybe Indians. They might go into camels, you never know. So we'll keep an eye on this. Of course, Indians, if you didn't already know, they have cheaper villagers. So TaToH should be able to advance even earlier than Viper. It's all about the center area though, guys. This is not a game that you can comfortably go to the Imperial Age. You need to be applying pressure because if you lose access to the middle, it can be tough. I've seen a lot of towers. Come forward, place some towers, control the stone and gold, but you can't control this whole area with a few towers. You need to tower everywhere. Is there anyone in the Twitch chat that has not seen this map? And while we're at it, YouTube, I'm interested in if this is new for you guys. If it is, maybe we'll do more of it. Look at Viper pushing in the deer with a villager. He shot it once, and then he pushed it in a couple tiles, and then finished it off. You've never seen it. Okay, we'll have to do it more often. I think this won a map-making contest a few years ago. This map has been around a while. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, the amount of information in this game. I've been casting for years and I still get surprised by some things. We were just talking about how when you're on top of a hill you do 25% more damage, and then the person fighting uphill does 25% less. Then the most confusing one for viewers at times could be, let's say there's a shorefish, right? And you collect that with the fishing ship. That is one of the slowest food incomes you can have in the game. But if you collect that shorefish with a villager, it's the second fastest food collection in the game, right behind Mongol Hunt. It can be confusing, of course, but it's so cool, all the differences players need to know, casters need to know, and that you can experience. 17 villagers for TaToH, and he is on his way up. He's building a barracks. He will go for scouts here, I'm sure of it. Doesn't have as much wood as he might want. It's weird that there's this straggler here, so I guess he has a total of 6 lumberjacks. Will want enough to build a stable. Will want enough wood to then get his eco upgrades. Food will not be an issue for him. And wow, this is very good for TaToH, guys, because he will hit feudal age first, which means he'll get more speed and more attack on his scout, and that's why TaToH continues to chase here. If you're Viper, you have to turn around and fight on the hill here, I think. Yeah, Viper will need to get back to his base and garrison that TC if he wants the scout to stay alive. This is too late for him to try and take the hill. TaToH will kill Viper's scout at this rate, because he gets 3+2 attack while Viper's still on 3 attack. And yeah, Viper loses his scout. And this is before Viper gets a lot of scouting information in on TaToH's base, but he, of course, knows about the center. Kcon says, T90 official, can you please tell us about Amazon Prime? Well, Kcon, I'm not sure. I'm not that experienced in the matter, but I believe that if you have Amazon Prime, you can link it with Twitch and get 1 free sub to a streamer a month. It's called Twitch Prime or something. There might be a command in the chat that explains it. I'm not sure, man. But Little Bustard knows. Little Bustard, thank you for the Prime sub, man. Viper starting the walls. The one good thing about Viper's base is he can wall it off a little bit more. See TaToH's woodline versus Viper's woodline? Viper's woodline is way better, and he could use this as a wall towards the edge of the map. And he's already beginning that. So even though Viper was up later, I don't think we'll have any concerns about that. TaToH's scout is weak. And TaToH should get more momentum because he hit feudal age faster. So now it's 3 military for TaToH, and that's all scouts. While Viper just has some defensive spears. But it is Viper, right? So you have to expect that he won't take too much damage from this. And he should be just fine. Now, I think Indians are way better than Portuguese in early feudal. In Castle Age, it depends on what the players get to. But I like Indians a bit more. Elite Skirm and Camel is a really strong combo to counter Portuguese. And so far, TaToH, he's had the freedom at home to add eco and get there. We have yet to see the focus on the center. Players normally don't need gold or stone at this time. And yeah, TaToH, he disrupted Viper's woodline a little bit, but he sees the spear and he will now run away. So TaToH building farms out here. You can't build farms in this little area. So you have to build farms around a mill. TaToH loses his weak scout. Nice pick off from Viper. TaToH overextending a little bit. Actually, that was very good for Viper because both of TaToH's scouts that are still alive got hits. Or got hit by Viper, so we will probably see a few spears for TaToH because he knows he's going to need to run back home, and that's exactly what he's doing. Hill advantage is something we touched on already. That's something TaToH tried to utilize there for a moment. Viper expecting TaToH to be there, and now he sees that TaToH ran back towards his base. So does Viper chase this, or does Viper go forward? Looks like he's playing defensive once again. I know Viper's very good. He's probably the best player ever. Certainly the best player right now. But in RTS games, you do have to play more defensive to be successful. Viper never all-ins unless he's trolling. He has well-calculated attacks that do a certain amount of damage. But he never like goes YOLO with an all-in attack and Viper doing the wise thing and coming back. TaToH's just being annoying right now. And there's not many vills that can hop into that TC for Viper, so those scouts will still survive. And what we're not seeing is just how many farms they're adding, how they're setting up their economies. All that is important behind this. Now Viper's gone to his gold here. So he'll either add an archer range next and start that archer transition. Ooh, this is so good for Viper because he has the spears. Yeah, or Viper might invest into bloodlines, which I don't think he'll do, but that would give his scouts some extra HP. After all this action, guys, 1 kill, 1 death for both players, and it was the starting scouts. TaToH just happened to lose his in feudal. Strode says, I think most people know by now about the hill bonus. Most people that watch you play this game too. Or doesn't it? No, man, I don't think so. TaToH's making a lot of feudal age scouts, and I think Viper's trying to go towards Castle Age, so Viper could be caught out. How many people watching the stream haven't played this game before, or haven't played it in like a year, for example? Strode, I think that this is a great spectator sport. This is relaxing. It's fun to watch. There's so much to analyze, even if you've never played it. Yeah, so here we go. There's a bunch of people. Fens, I think you're lying, dude. You played community games. So, anyway, there are a lot of people that have said that they have not played this game. And also, there's a lot of people new to the stream and new to the community, so I always try and explain these things. Just keep in mind that there's always someone new watching the stream or watching the videos. So I have to cater to the people who know everything. And then I have to cater to the people who are new as well. So I try and mix it up. Now, you see what Viper has done here? He noticed that TaToH created a lot of extra scouts. I believe that TaToH created those scouts because he wasn't 100% certain on what Viper was going to invest into. If Viper picks off a villager, he's just distracting TaToH's army now and walling up at home. So TaToH has wasted a lot of food to create these scouts, and he's going to have a later castle age time now. If he doesn't do damage with these scouts, he invested in far too many. How many farms do they have? I'm just curious. This doesn't mean too much. 12 farmers for TaToH. Viper, 18 farmers. Yeah, so Viper has so much more in the way of food eco coming in as well. And he's on stone, guys. So he will maybe look for a castle and castle age out here. He clicks up the castle age after this market. There we go. And TaToH needs to be sure that Viper can't get out here. He needs to utilize his scouts, get to his camels soon, and keep Viper from camping the middle. Both players on stone. But I think Viper's, his build, again, it's a lot safer than TaToH's. And it's well calculated, as it normally is from him. Rev Winfield said, I played when I was 12, back when it came out. I haven't played it. I played a total of 3 games against AI since I started watching casts of the game last year. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think you'll see many other video games like that, chat. Maybe some old ones that trigger some nostalgia for people, similar to Age of Empires, but I even have people who just found the game within the last year or two because of my YouTube and they don't play. It's the beauty of Age of Empires 2. Viper has a minute head start to Castle Age. He has a few spears and all these scouts, which he's just distracting with. No upgrades. If he comes out here and starts building that castle, he's going to need some time. And TaToH could even use these scouts, as things stand, to pick off those villagers if the villagers aren't walled in. So Viper deletes a house. He's on his way now with 5 villagers. And will TaToH see this? Well, yeah, TaToH will see it. Because once the castle's going up on this map, you can see what's going on here. And TaToH will have a little bit of time to react to this. Oh, Viper's building a safe castle. Okay. He's building a safe castle. Never mind. I don't know how I feel about that. If it was any other player in the community, I would say that's kind of weird. You know? If that's TaToH, how many of you would be saying TaToH needs to build that in the middle? Viper would build that in the middle. Sure, many of you. Man, I understand why he doesn't want to be like Doubt and build a castle that's too ballsy. But I feel like at the very least he could have built it right here on this hill. But he's playing it safe once again. And he's gone into pikemen because he expects camels and light cav from TaToH. TaToH hits Castle Age and TaToH looking to counterattack. Franker Sinatra, the organ guns are just one of those unique units that's only really good in a post-imp situation when you can afford to make them constantly. So basically team games with trade. It's not a good 1v1 unit really. I don't think it needs buffed. I just think that it's a unit that takes time to mass, and thus it's hard to justify. Viper's actually going for them now. So we'll get to see how the combo goes. I think if you have a buffer in front, like pikemen, you have pikemen in front, that can be really nice. The problem with these organ guns sometimes is they have minimum range. So if you have pikemen to stop the light cav or the knights or camels from getting into that minimum range, then they do 16 damage from behind the pikemen. So all TaToH sees at the moment is this. He's adding camels. He'll find out in a moment what Viper has. And it's, you know what? It's almost brilliant from Viper because he's hidden this decision. He's hidden the pikemen. He's hidden the organ guns especially. And TaToH did not expect that. That's for sure. A Viper, these scouts are throwaways to him. So he wanted to kill a villager. He ends up getting the kill with the organ guns. And TaToH, he's adding town centers at home, but he has not done much to secure the gold in the center. TaToH has mobility, so maybe he'll try and pick off these reinforcements when Viper sends them in. Remember I said Camel and Skirm is great for Indians. Maybe if he had Camel and Skirm. But now it's almost impossible for TaToH to transition. It would take way too much time and Viper would snowball his units, so... oh, I say that and he adds archery ranges, so okay, he's gonna try. He could hit Viper's eco, but Viper has full walled this. So I doubt that will happen. But at the very least, he's forcing Viper into some more walls now. MBL says they're decent in Castle Age. Yeah, it's... I would say, in a way, it's similar to Korean war wagons. They're really strong in high numbers, but they're difficult to get to. Like, Viper couldn't add this many if he was on 3 TCs at home, for example. He's just on 1 TC right now because he knows the middle is important, so he's putting all of his resources here. Whereas other unique units, you can be on 3 TCs in Castle Age and make them. So... well, Viper's army is more worried about the center as he builds a town center to secure the stone and gold. And at TaToH, he probably assumes Viper could be looping around to trap him, so he's leaving. He can't get in there. Player of Viper's quality is not gonna let TaToH get in with that much time. Oreo says, is there a reason why AoE 2 took off more in the EU? Or at least more players nowadays? Well, this is just a theory. Hold on a second. I can answer that question after the game. I have some theories on that. But let's see here. How will these light cav do? The light cav got a good engagement there, but the pikemen arrive. These things, when masked, can be strong. I really like the combo from Viper. Now, TaToH is mixing in... he built ranges. I thought it would be CA or Skirms. This is my point on transitioning, guys. It's so difficult to react to this now because he needs to mask the units he's transitioning to. So as he's adding those skirmishers, it takes time and it gives Viper more and more time to secure the center. And he's got to be on his way to another castle soon. Yeah, he definitely is. He could actually purchase that castle if he felt rushed. So, I don't think there's actually going to be an engagement for TaToH and Viper just yet. TaToH's just running around. To answer that question, I think that... and again, I could be wrong on this, but a lot of the consoles first launched in the States, right? Or at least they were more popular in the States, and people could afford to purchase them in the States when they first started coming out, right? So when the zone went down, I remember there being a ton of... I've been told there was a lot of American players back in the day. But after the zone went down, a lot of Americans just kind of... they thought Age of Empires was dead and they moved on to consoles. Whereas there's a huge South American player base still. And it could be because they, you know, everyone has a computer, or computers are easier to get than consoles, or easier to justify. Maybe the same with Europe, I'm not sure. But I think that's the reason. Because again, we have a lot of Americans coming back to the game now, they just didn't stay. I don't think this is a great situation for TaToH. I mean, just to point out the obvious, as Viper builds a castle in the center, really all he can do now is go up to Imp faster than Viper, and then start pushing back the center with Trebs. Let's see these skirmishers. Man, that's gonna take quite some micro to kill those organ guns. What are they doing? One damage per hit? 2 damage per hit? Oh yeah, that's just not the answer. And TaToH is on the way to the next stage. Maybe his faster Imperial Age upgrades will do it for him, but even the Magnell, not enough. And Viper, he's having a field day right now. He is having an absolute field day. Maganel, 7 range, Orkan Gun, 7 range, so he'll make quick work of that. He's already killed the stable, he's working on killing the archery range. I don't think you can dock this, right? So, you can't even rely on any demos, TaToH, even though he loves them. And Viper has gone for the classic push for map control strategy, and it's perfect on a map like El Dorado. very solid play from Viper here. And TaToH will get Bracer. Still working on getting some more upgrades on his skirms as well. Like the defense upgrades might be nice. I'm not too sure. If he can mass enough skirms to deal with these organ guns, he'll definitely be able to kill the pikemen. So it's all about the organ guns for Viper. And Viper now coming in for what I believe is another castle, yeah. Buying himself some time, Viper. Quite literally, because he has the gold. So, TaToH has researched guard tower to help hold against Viper's push. And I don't think Viper is truly looking to finish TaToH off here. He doesn't need to. He just needs to get himself to imp now. Probably realizes TaToH's up because TaToH hasn't really pushed him at all. And he'll know soon enough anyhow. And TaToH, he doesn't have the stone to build a castle, so he can't tread push this. It's just not a great situation. Adding more TCs now. There's Bracer. Viper clicks up to imp right as Taz is clicking Bracer for his skirms. But I think TaToH has to address this. Oh man, Viper's going for the blacksmith. Wouldn't that have been something if you killed the blacksmith before Bracer completed? That's not going... Wait. Oh! That was so close. Luckily for TaToH, he got Bracer completed. That was much closer than I expected. But, you know what? The only thing he could do is just counterattack and hit the main eco of Viper. Just avoid the gold now and try and kill Viper's vills, I guess. Because Viper has most of his military forward. Maybe that's one thing he can go for. Yeah, TaToH's completing chemistry now, so he can go bombard cannons. But it's just... more time, right? More time wasted here. The Viper's on the way back. It's funny, Viper expected this. They play enough games to know exactly what the player will do in certain situations. So Viper was trying to build an outpost there, and then the villager got sniped by the army Viper expected. So, oh, Viper, oh, that wall's buying him a little bit of time to get this castle up. And that's just enough. I think the castle would have easily gone up despite that. Or, regardless. I've seen Viper making quick use of the palisade gates ever since user patch added the feature that you can rotate them with the scroll wheel. He does it once again here. Just ensuring that TaToH cannot close in on him. Now, where's TaToH Siege Workshop now? It's here. It's not creating any bombard cannons. And oh my god, TaToH's... Yes. TaToH's losing everything over here. These are just regular organ guns. That's it. Pikeman and organ gun. I was curious why Viper chose Portuguese. Well, I know the answer now. Yeah, I don't think Viper's troubled at all. TaToH doesn't have the gold to push this back. He really doesn't. He can try and micro here, but Viper can add his own bombard cannons. He could also just mix in something like light cav. Light cav or champion even wouldn't be too bad versus everything that TaToH has. It probably wants to avoid champion because TaToH can add gunpowder soon, but just look at the numbers. 61 military for Viper. You know what this comes back to? It comes back to TaToH creating extra scouts. Those extra scouts are still here in the form of light cav, but what have they done? All they've done is delay the Castle Age technology for TaToH, and at this level, you have to know how many units are necessary. Since he was later to Castle Age, he couldn't stop the castle, he couldn't have Castle Age techs, and that is why Viper's in the position he's in right now. And Viper now researching elite organ guns. So currently they have 16 attack, 7 range, and 60 HP. And you can see their armors there as well if you're curious. The stat change will come in a moment for those that were asking questions about it. I saw quite a few people doing that in the Twitch chat. Viper going for another castle. And yeah, now it's 20 attack, extra armor, and 70 HP. And TaToH, he's chosen capped ram here. Viper has a small hill. Viper needs to be careful with his trebs. This is where he wanted to build his next castle. Now this choke point is going to be beautiful for the organ guns. TaToH has yet to even come close to killing that trebuchet. I don't even think the Rams can do much against these guys, right? Yeah, the Rams get massacred. And TaToH's skirmishers, they're doing a decent job, but it is not enough to get the middle back. And that's the end of the first game in this best of 5. So the next map coming up is Cross, I think. No, the next map is Pond Arena. Viper gets a win with Portuguese, and we'll move right along to the second game. Again, it all came back to how many scouts TaToH invested in. The Viper playing it very safe, not over-investing, and its decision-making 9 times out of 10 in this game. And there's the KD for Viper after he got to the center. You know, I liked the idea for TaToH to go Indians. He advanced faster to feudal age, but he didn't use that advantage. Not saying he should have done more, he actually should have done less, just not create as many scouts, and I think his castle age time could have even been better. The other thing was economically. Remember, I checked the farm numbers. Viper had 18, TaToH had 12. 12 is really not enough to have a lightning fast castle time. But it's just the small things at the competitive level. MLZK resubs for 13 months. Thank you very much, man. Fun fact, MLZK is the only fan that I have scored a goal on. I scored a beautiful goal on him at the meetup. And MLZ, I only brought that back up because you said 13 wasted months. Right back at you, man. Always send the trolls back at you. Okay, let me update the scores, my friends. This is the best of 5 for those just getting here. Welcome, everybody. After this, myself, Viper, TaToH, Doubt, and Zero Empires will play nothing maps. I will talk to them more about the settings once we are about to start. I didn't create a bunch of maps. I had a bunch of maps edited so they can be King of the Hill and Regicide combined. I just want to see what their preferences are once we get them into TeamSpeak, but we have a big night of streams. I hope it cools off. Man, I am sweating. Is anybody else sweating? Such a warm day here today. So I got an update on my grandmother, for those that might be wondering. So my grandmother has a broken shoulder. She fell on it. And no surgery. So I don't know if that means she's not having surgery ever on it. I don't know what the normal procedure is. Or what, but apparently she's in a lot of pain. I'll have to visit her Monday. 68 degrees here. If that's Fahrenheit, I'm jealous, Fireman. But yeah, next game should be coming up, my friends. Yeah, if you guys are in Europe, you better sleep in tomorrow. You don't want to go anywhere. This is going to be fun tonight. Celsius is what? What's the conversion? Isn't that like 150, 160 degrees Fahrenheit? I don't know. I blame the American education system. 68 Celsius to Fahrenheit. Let's see if I got close. 154? Oh man, what a quality guess right there. Here are the civs they have remaining. Sorry for my... The civ draft crashed for me, so I just screenshotted Nilly's stream. We just saw Indians for TaToH, so Berbers, Chinese, Malians, and Mongols. While Viper just used his Portuguese, so he has Britons, Khmer, Huns, and Burmese left. All solid picks. It's just crazy how little Americans know when you're talking to people in other countries. I always feel so naive, you know? Maybe you don't know if you're in Europe. Hopefully you haven't noticed it. Stop it, Fire Enzo. Fire Enzo, I don't think they actually did a ban. I'm not sure how that worked. Like the settings for this event were kind of last minute, so Next game should be starting in a moment, guys. Xenox, I don't really need to fill... Like, I have limited space in my brain, and I don't feel like it influences my life much to learn the conversion system that much, unless I move to Europe at some point. But that's interesting. It's pretty easy, I guess. 6 picks, 1 ban. Yeah, I don't know. It frustrated me so much that this was 2 hours late, and they didn't even have the settings when they arrived. So we're just playing this by ear. But it is for $100. Pond Arena is another new map. I've done this once or twice. I did it on T90 series in the past. It's a lot of fun. You'll see it in a moment. I can explain more about it. Too many trees in your brain. I know! Too many trees, dude. Is that T90 admitting he has a small brain? No, I have a very large brain, but it's filled with Age of Empires content. That's what I'm saying. I guess you could take that as an insult or compliment.
Start the game already!
Okay, guys. So game 2 between Viper and TaToH. It is Burmese for Viper. Yes. It is Mongols for TaToH. So yet again, TaToH has a civilization where he can advance faster to feudal age and use that advantage somehow. This is Pond Arena. Looks like Arena with a giant pond in the center. Pretty simple, right? Yes, but it plays out much differently than your standard arena because of the water. Fishing is always important. Getting water control can lead to landings. Like most water maps, we might just see them fight for water. One person loses the water, and then they call GG. That possibility is there because you can range so much from the pond. And in TaToH's case, he could even lose his gold if he loses water. But we shall see. I think we should look at the resource positions because, as I said, TaToH is close to the water, which is unfortunate. He has a gold and 2 stones back here, though. Another gold he can take here. And then, of course, this one and this stone. Whereas Viper has his stones on the left, main gold here. That's safe from any galleys that might fire in Castle Age. And then that gold out here. A little bit less inside his walls, Viper, but he certainly has enough to live with. Okay. 2 boars. Deer is standard as well. The berries is standard. The resources are no different than Arena. And one thing I'll say is the relic layout is not too fair here. Viper using his hacks, as always, right? He has a relic closer to his walls here. And then he has 3 closer to him on the right-hand side. But I don't think relics will play a huge role in this. They might, because Viper is Burmese, and he will see where those relics are located. But I think that this game will be decided by other things. TaToH could even lose his gold if he loses the pond. But let's see. S-E-A-C. Hallow, you made me cringe, dude. You made me cringe. And I'm the guy who has the T90 dad emote. Well played, dude. Well played. No, buddy, the new balance is actually built into the maps, so no. It's not a separate mod, it's built into the maps themselves. So, this is Nilly's apartment cup Pond Arena. These are maps that Nilly will use in his apartment cup. I don't think Nilly has the balance set to his maps, but they could be. I guess if you know the answer to that question, then you know the answer to if it's using the new balance. What's the price? It's $100, Dennis. It's $100. Oh. So like Arena, guys, we've pretty much gotten everything out of the way, right? Viper building his dock, TaToH building his dock. Who will win the dock race? Viper will win. Not too much else to talk about. A lot of you said that you haven't seen this before, so it'll be cool to show this to you for the first time. I think Viper has played the Civ draft better because they did choose these civilizations, right? So Burmese is just very strong in general. Mongols, I'm just thinking about this. I'm pondering on what TaToH will do. I mean, Mongols in late game could do well, but I still think Burmese have a better early game and better Castle Age options. Pondering, man. It's Pond Arena. Get it? One plane, not pondering. It's not pondering. It's not pudding arena. Oh, Viper needs to... Oh, the boar's going to troll him. Don't shoot it. Nice shot from Viper. Sometimes the boars will miss path, and you have to stop shooting it, wait for it to chase you back underneath the TC, and that's the perfect location for it. Oh, Viper's switching it up here. He's going for a barracks. This is very different. Maybe he knows that TaToH will advance faster to feudal and get control of the water. So does he want to go for a transport? I would love Viper so much if he could somehow go for a drush over water. That would be so ridiculously awesome. It's such an investment to do this. You have to spend 175 wood on the barracks. Then you have to build the dock, so then you can then build the transport. So it's like a 500 wood investment to do all of this. And then he'll have no water control after that. But he could drush. A TaToH doesn't have loom either. Fortunately for TaToH, I think he can wall in all of his resources. But this is going to be funny. Here we go! Here we go! Now watch him let his vills off on this side by accident. Or his militia. TaToH's in feudal now, so this has to work. Here we go. Will TaToH react to this? Okay, he's getting loom immediately, and he's house walling, and he should garrison. I think it's a weird play from Viper to do this. I'm totally fine with it because it's different. But he will not do any damage to TaToH. Just force him into a bunch of house walls. So that's 100 wood wasted for TaToH. I think Viper will try and fast castle off this. Has not taken these deer though. Let me see. It's like a drushed fast castle, except you have to invest into the dock and the transports, which would take you even longer. Viper loses his fishing ship. TaToH, he can just add fishing ships now, so his advantage in eco is going to be so much greater. I like the idea only because it's different, but I think there's a reason we don't see this frequently. I've never seen it before on Pond Arena, so it is unique. And TaToH's advantage is just going to get larger and larger now. But we have another little waiting period because TaToH, he doesn't have anything to attack with. Now, TaToH could transport now himself. Viper cannot stop TaToH from transporting. He could wall here and here, I suppose, and here, but if TaToH wanted to transport something like archers, and he's building an archery range now, he could do that. And I think he will go for that. Because he won't hit Castle Age anytime soon, so it's definitely for archers or something. If he wanted to go for a faster castle, he wouldn't have built this archery range, and he would have built farms. It's important he keeps Viper off of water. It's important he kills Viper's dock. Viper now with 30 villagers. It will be 31. It's almost so late that I'm thinking something like Fast Imperial, but I believe he's gone up later because he had to invest so many more resources into this drush compared to a normal drush. It's just a weird attempt because the wood line's always going to be on the back side, so TaToH will always have time to respond to that. And maybe if you get lucky, the gold is forward, but even that, I don't know if it's worth it. Oh, Viper's redocking, and TaToH hasn't reacted to this. He probably will soon. If he can kill this villager... 2 range on the fire galleys. I don't think this dock goes up for Viper. Yeah, the fire galleys are pretty strong. And now Viper is walling because he expects a transport from TaToH. TaToH has not made a transport just yet. He really doesn't need to. He has 3 fishing ships, which makes up for the villagers he's down, and he'll actually be ahead of Viper economically. Because TaToH has also had the feudal age upgrades as well, right? So he has quite a few advantages right now. I think a tower rush could have... If he... I don't know, even a tower rush wouldn't work because you'd need to go feudal, and your feudal would be later, and then TaToH would have fire galleys. Just this strategy in general, it should be respected for how different it is, but it's not the best. And here comes TaToH now. TaToH, this is his point of view. He can see Viper's been walling up. Viper The theme has been wasted wood for him, right? That has been the theme. This dock was denied. This dock will go down. The transport has gone down. But you know what? I respect it. And TaToH comes over. I also love how TaToH has counter-transported. And I don't see him doing damage to Viper, but he's at least delaying the guy a little bit. Maybe forcing a tower. If you force a tower here, that's wonderful, because Viper does want to go for Arambai. He clicks up to Castle Age, and he's on stone. And yeah, he does force a tower, so that means that that castle will be that much later for Viper. So this is good for TaToH. Very, very good. He wants to get in the transport once again. And... oh! What on earth is happening here? Viper, I think he's having too much fun with the gates today. Maybe that's why TaToH sent the rest of his archers, so he could pressure this side. Almost feels like TaToH could be tempted to send a Vil here to build a tower on Viper's golds. Not to be, though. Not to be. TaToH will soon click up the castle. There's really no way Viper can do immediate damage to TaToH, so TaToH being later is not a huge deal here. Again, he has 8 fishing ships, so he's 1 Vil behind, but he has 8 fishing ships. That's huge. Viper compensating, adding extra to stone, and it will be Arambai. Viper has a couple avenues to come back in this game. He can build the castle here or here, and then he can get back on water and kill the fishing advantage that TaToH has, because that castle fire would stop his docks from getting denied. He could do that, as well as add an Arambai to hit TaToH's base. But archers are good versus Arambai in numbers, because they have more range and are affected by ballistics. So I still feel like TaToH would prefer his position. Okay, the castle is here. Yeah, this is a wise place for a castle. TaToH, he knows this area is vulnerable. Viper building the castle here because the gold's exposed. Now that castle means that we will not see Viper go for water anytime soon. TaToH was debating coming out here to try and deny this, but he's sending his his archers right back. Viper's gating it up. These gates aren't really that cheap, but it's a fast way to wall. And now Viper adds a second town center. It's time for Viper to catch up with economy. Can he do it? Now, you know what, chat? Archers kill the Arambai, but what kills the archers? Mangonels. So, the reason Burmese are really hard to stop on lands maps, and obviously there's a different element to this one, but the reason it's hard to stop Burmese is because they get the free eco upgrades. So Viper does not have the research bowsaw, as TaToH has just put resource into researching that. And if you have 3 Mangonels and 10 to 12 Arambai, it's really difficult for your opponent to deal with that. And TaToH, he has not been on stone. I think the safer approach would be go to stone throughout all of that so you could build a castle defensively. If he's not careful, the Arambai will mass, and the Mangonels will mass, and he could get overrun. It is expensive to do what I just said, though, so it'll take Viper some time to get to the crucial numbers, but you never know. Oh! That demo was so close. Even the ships are dying. Viper wants to redock this, doesn't he? Yeah. These units are so broken that they're fighting ships. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's not too crazy because it's just fire galleys and a demo. But you see what I mean? TaToH, he's on stone now. If he can get away with holding for a while, you know, trading versus Viper's army for a couple minutes and then building a castle will have more eco, but what he's done here will put him in an awkward position. Both players with 44 villagers. TaToH ahead in military, but a lot of that is navy that he can't utilize to defend his base. So Viper's military is probably stronger. And Viper might kill the fish soon. So Viper, after the drush, has stabilized a little bit. He's on 2 town centers, so he'll probably stick to that so we can continue to pump resources into creating military forward. How do Mangadai do versus Arambai? Well, Ericativo, the best way to explain the matchup, Mangadai are good, but usually only in the Imperial Age, after Thumb Ring, after Parthian Tactics, after, you know, Bracer, Chemistry. Arambai, you don't need any upgrades on them. Viper has put 0 resources into upgrades, and these things are stupidly strong. And, oh, that's so good! That's so good! That Mangonel will buy some time for TaToH. What I was going to get to is that the Arambai also destroy buildings, so these stone walls don't really offer that much protection, even though the Mangonel is gone from Viper. And TaToH, he's building his castle here now, though, so he should be okay. I don't know where this monk is going. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What a pickoff from that monk. That guy is legendary. TaToH has gotten away with this. It's so risky, but these guys are obviously pros. 2 of the best in the world. He calculated that. He knew that around this moment, he was going to be pressured by Viper. He's played this scenario 1,000 times, and so he built the castle here. This is something that Viper does not see yet. So, he's just losing units now, and yeah, he will go back. So, the fight on water continues. And TaToH's fishing ship still bringing in some food, but he doesn't have near as many. When you see Burmese play out on lands maps, it's normally 2 TC style, and then a second castle. You put more resources into your attack than your economy, and that is because your attack is so strong. The plural of Mangonel is Mangonels, not Maganil. Magali? What? Have I ever said? Did I say that? I don't recall ever saying that. Like, is it like dice and die? Wait, what? I'm gonna, just to trigger you, Quintuple, I'm gonna call them Maganili. No, I'm not. That is so weird. That was so random. I don't think I said that. Maybe you're just trolling a little bit, man. It's totally cool. You don't, it's totally cool. So TaToH, looking to get to multiple castles, looking to get upgrades on the Mangadai. I probably said Mangadai, and you thought I was saying Mangonels as plural. That's probably what it was, Mangadai. If Viper's not careful, he's going to be Manga dead if these units mass, so I think Viper will go for a faster imp. Yeah, so look at the vil count for a second. Viper has 55 vils. He knows that TaToH Civilization needs more eco. He knows that TaToH has more vils. There's no secret here, especially because of the score. So, the play for Viper now is to take out the buildings that TaToH needs, which is the castles. If there's no Mangadai for TaToH, I'm not sure if he'll do too well versus Viper's army. Arambai, again, they don't need a lot of upgrades. TaToH has to invest thousands of resources into upgrading his units, and that's before creating them. But TaToH recognized it, used the market a little bit, using his extra villagers now. He's on his way to imp, so he won't be that far behind. It will start off with a Treb War, though. TaToH keeping an eye on the right-hand side as well, and he's working on getting the relics. And we saw that earlier, didn't we? I said that Viper had a small edge there, but he definitely can't afford to have population out here. Blade Runner, I do think Arambai should cost food and gold. I do. Because the only reason you can do this with a unit this strong is because of the cost. Arambai and Spanish, or Arambai and Conquistadors that Spanish have, they're very similar in stats and how you use them. It's just that you could never be on your way to imp at this stage if you were Spanish making Conquistadors because it costs food and gold instead of wood and gold. Will that balance change be made in the future? Maybe. Not something to talk about now, but I think that's a big reason as to why the Arambai are so strong, because of the cost. So Viper has to pump all of his resources into Trebs. He has to kill this castle. TaToH is only on one castle, which is kind of a surprise, but yeah, he can build a second one any moment now. And I think TaToH should know that this is coming as well. Now there's a new feature with user patch that you can play without the score, and I'm planning on casting some games with that just to see how players react. But since the score is there, score is a good indicator of population and resources, etc. So TaToH will know. And yes, this monk, this is the monk earlier who got that conversion so boldly. He goes down to some arrows. TaToH's going for drill immediately. You know what he's going to do? He could live to regret this, because I think he should have gone for trebs immediately. I think he wants to counter here. And Viper noticed that a moment ago. He's sending his units over to react to this. He's getting drilled, TaToH, so he might just avoid the left-hand side and start pushing on the right-hand side. Drill makes the Mongol siege faster, and these will be siege rams. But that is 1,300 food into capped ram and siege ram. That is 450 for the drill upgrade. That's a lot of resources that he's putting into just the siege, and he doesn't have a lot to back that up right now. And Viper now researching Onager. He sees this. He has 2 mangonels waiting, and now he builds a castle to defend this right-hand side. I don't know how this will go for TaToH. This is different. This whole game has been different, and I'm loving it. So cool from Viper to go for the Josh. Oh, he's gonna push. I didn't see these rams. That changes things. He can just push back the trebs. Viper, this is brilliant now. I thought he only had a few rams on the right-hand side. If he has these rams, he can even kill Viper's castle. This could be the GG. Just kills the trebs, no problem. Can even kill the monks. And then he can kill the castle. I don't think Viper was expecting this at all. Down go the trebs, which saves TaToH's castle. He can now add Mangadai. An elephant or two from Viper. He didn't tech into elephants or anything. He doesn't know what to do here. This castle could go down. This castle could go down. And then on this side, I don't think a castle will drop because Onager's about to come in. But brilliant move from TaToH. And the reason he got drilled was for the surprise factor of this. Just to be speedy. Viper doesn't have enough repair villagers here. This castle will go down. And this castle probably next if TaToH wants to send some more siege rams or some trebs. Viper completely blindsided by this play from TaToH. And while he's still alive for now, I really don't think it's enough. Surely now TaToH, who is building his 3rd castle, can go into Elite Mangadai. And he's had the time to get the upgrades.
It's been a while.
Wow.
Did you give birth yet?
Cape Man, 9 months. Thank you very much. Cape Man, you know, I was watching some VODs of some old streams. You know what? It was the WTF Mega Random moment, if you remember that YouTube video. And you were in the chat, and I was thinking, you know what? I haven't seen Cape Man around in a while. Welcome back, dude. Thank you for the support. I don't think it really matters if Viper keeps his castle up or not. TaToH's next wave is going to be that much stronger. And Viper now, he doesn't have momentum, and that was the only good thing for him earlier, was that he had some momentum with the early imp. That is amazing for me. I love that TaToH did that. That was so cool. So there are some situations where I've seen that before. Mongols versus Britons. One time I saw a game where Britons had a ton of longbows and 3 castles in the middle. And the Mongol guy, instead of making anything to deal with the longbows, he just made 30 siege rams. And he killed all the castles. He even killed the TCs from the other guy. He just went into the base as well and killed the TCs. He ended up losing the game anyhow, but I don't think TaToH will be too worried about his situation here. Now, with Redemption, monks can actually convert siege rams. It's very rare because the monks have to be right next to the rams. So you rarely see it, but there we go. We saw one. Viper with monks. This is ridiculous. The Viper has monks, Arambai, and now bombard cannons. TaToH has units on this side. Viper's just holding and making skirms.
It is amazing how much entertainment I get from your stream.
Okay, they're alive.
I hope for a great 6 months coming.
Sorry for the weird noises, guys. I thought for sure that those bombard cannons were going to get hit by the siege ram. Those 2 monks were, though. TaToH has Elite Mangadai. I think he just needs to hold a little bit more and mass. I don't know if he should be splitting up his armies now. He certainly has a big advantage, but I think if he had these numbers here, that he would be able to push this. Guys, I'm going to give shoutouts for new subs and stuff after the game. Thank you guys for supporting me. You know, TaToH has 900 stone, so he can be repairing this. I think he'll try and pick off the bombard cannons. And 1, 2... Oh, wait! TaToH's going for the monks first. This is so much smarter. Kill the monks first, and then get the bombard cannons afterwards. Wow, Viper lost hundreds of gold there. And now Mangadai inside Viper's base. Siege Rams coming here. Again, these will probably go down. Viper, I guess, canceled Onager earlier, so he doesn't even have that. And TaToH slowly bringing this game home, I think. The Siege Rams are giving him so much time here, guys. And the Arambai, I just don't see them working out too much. Viper doesn't really have the eco. What is he adding right now? He's adding a few skirmishers. TaToH can kill that Mangonel. Boom! Another castle for TaToH so you can treb from both sides, and Viper calls the GG. He knows. He knows that it's just a matter of time now. If Viper was going to come back there, guys, he needed to hold the front with his trebs and kill that castle and just continue to push in. Because he had less economy, the second he lost that momentum, TaToH was always going to be in a good position to push back out. But what a sick play with those Mongol siege rams. The game was decided by drill siege rams. That was the decision. It wasn't Mangadai, it wasn't castles, it wasn't sneaks, it wasn't cannon galleons, it was drill siege ram. And for the most part, only drill siege ram as well, because TaToH didn't make many Mangadai. I was scratching my head back here in the T90 casting booth, and I'm thinking, this guy's gonna throw. Like, what is he doing? It's TaToH. Like, what is going through his mind? Is this rigged? Did Viper pay him? You know, like, what's going on? That was genius from TaToH. That was pretty sick. And something that Viper did not account for. Viper accounted for the ranged units. He did not account for the siege. Alright, here are the achievements. It is now 1-1. Viper gets more kills, but this is the difference. You gotta take your hat off for Viper as well to drush there. It certainly would have been impressive for him to win after a drush on Pond Arena. Alright, so we move on to Game 3. Game 3 is Land Madness, which is a map I haven't seen too much of. So I might be learning alongside you guys as well. For those watching, and if you had any questions, feel free to ask, but this is a best of 5. This is not a tournament. It's best of 5 for $100. After this, myself, Viper, TaToH, Doubt, and Zero Empires will all be in TeamSpeak, and we will be versing each other in some Diplomacy, Regicide, King of the Hill, Nothing maps. So we have hours of content upcoming. It'll be a lot of fun. Tiny Mika, I'll read your message off again. Says, it is amazing how much entertainment I get from your stream. This is from someone who barely plays. It's been a great 6 months, and I hope for a great 6 months coming. Thank you. That's a very kind message there. Thank you. Ciandro, thank you for the new sub. And Kate Man, again, thank you for 9. Quintuple, you didn't have to do that, man. I hope you didn't feel bad that I made fun of your... I didn't make fun of, but I brought up the Maganai thing. You didn't have to donate, but thank you for the $5. It's generous of you. Okay. They're in the next game already. We have 60 seconds till we see it because of the spec delay. And I'm excited to see what Lands Madness is like. Shulker, I saw your message earlier. He said, did you notice with the latest update with the spec overlay that when players canceled text, they no longer show on the side? Yeah, I thought that worked before, though. It's amazing how many updates are coming for this game. You know what they did recently? You know what User Patch did? They updated User Patch, so when you're in Age of Empires 2 and you want to sell hundreds of thousands of resources, you can do Control Shift. And I'm calling it the Nothing Patch. They patched it so people can play nothing games. Oh man, what have we done, guys? What have we done? I don't know whether to blame myself for the Nothing Patch or to blame you. Okay, I've seen this map before. This map is called Land's Madness. Viper, who played with an interesting strategy last game, but lost. He is in the yellow playing as the Huns, and TaToH, who had the killer instinct to go siege rams in the last game and won, he's playing as the Malians. I've seen this map before. I have not casted too many games with it, but as you can see, it's very open. If I remember correctly, you cannot build on this terrain with some buildings, so it makes it even more difficult to lock down your resources. Lots of bamboo trees for wood, not too much gold and stone, and all of it is spread throughout the map. You won't see one little area with all the resources. It's all around, so you have to adjust. X4 says, T90 official, you brought me back to AoE after like 10 years. Used to play the original game when I was young. Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. You and many others. Thank you for stopping by and saying that. You know, I know that you guys hear me say like those words a lot. Like, thank you for saying that, and thank you for the compliment, and thank you for the support. But I truly do mean it. Like, you might think I sound like a broken record, but I truly do mean it. And this goes for any content creator. If you, let's say you like a Hearthstone streamer or something. If you were to tweet them, you know, or just say something on their stream like that, like, hey, I appreciate your content, thank you for what you do. That kind of stuff never gets old. It really doesn't. So don't ever think that I'm just saying thank you to thank you. I'm blessed to do what I do. I'm so happy I can influence so many people and give so many people a good time. So thank you, man. I mean, it might be different for other content creators. Other people might just be like, screw that guy. I'm popular. That doesn't mean anything to me. It might be a person-to-person thing, but I'd say most people who are at least in my position would appreciate it every single time. Alright. So, TaToH, I think that his Civ needs to have more map control. And that's saying a lot when there's so little in between the players. All the hills will be interesting. Let's say TaToH has archers in Castle Age. If he gets this hill, he's doing more damage when on top of that hill. That's unfortunate for Viper. Any elevation period on open maps can be a big talking point. Huns have more flexibility, though. I said last game that I thought Viper played the Civ draft a bit better. I know it's 1-1, but I would prefer Huns here because they can hit from multiple angles, because they have that speed. So if Viper can get a good scout rush in and then get to cav archers and knights, he can create them easier than TaToH can. I don't see this one going to the Imperial Age with so little to protect the players on the front. Sarah's with 100 bits says, good compliments only boost your ego. Am I right? I don't think I'm an egotistical guy. It doesn't really boost my ego. There's a difference between, I know you're kidding, but I think there's a difference between like being proud of yourself and like recognizing that you did do good for people or you are influencing people positively, and then thinking, oh yeah, I'm the best, you know. I know you're kidding though. Thank you for the bits. So let's talk about woodline positions for a moment and gold positions. This is the woodline for TaToH. Already starting some walls on this. Chat, can anyone tell me, can you build on this terrain? For some reason, I didn't think you could build on the terrain. I think you can't build farms here, right? If someone could clarify that for me, it'd be nice. The wood here. Both players running into TC fire for a moment there. Gold here and stone here for TaToH. Gold here. And then a gold on the front as well. Yeah, they built, but what about farms? Does anyone know if you could build farms there? The reason that's a big deal is if they build TCs here later on and they can't farm there, then there's an issue. Okay. Well, we'll find out soon enough. I was just curious if anyone knew. Both players on the way up. TaToH has clicked up later than Viper, but he does have one more villager working for his eco. Oh, maybe it's the line. Yeah, okay. Amant. Maybe it's the line. That's true. Scouting, very important. I don't think there will be any surprises here, though. Viper probably assumes we'll see man-at-arms from Malians because Malians have incredible man-at-arms. Viper has not scouted the barracks, though. Where's the scout at? His scout's here. Okay. He's being hesitant because he lost that HP. He doesn't want to be around TaToH's base. Okay, gate walls now for TaToH to protect his lumberjacks. TaToH pretty much confirmed his opponent was going scouts when he saw the barracks going up so late. There's going to be a lot of exposed vills as time goes on because the berries will soon no longer be here and these vills will need to be on farms and on lumber. All food and wood eco for Viper, and it will be 4 man-at-arms from TaToH. Oh, you know what he's doing? I like this. I think this is underused. Instead of upgrading man-at-arms immediately, you add a spear just to complement your militia and your vills when you're going forward. And Viper now, he sees the villagers coming here. He can't engage this with scouts. The reason that man-at-arms is a popular build is because you have about a 2-minute window where your opponent cannot counter you. If your opponent goes straight archers, they have to build the archer ranges. They have to go to gold. They have to create the archers, which is very slow. So, same thing with scouts here. So, as you can see, Viper is just trying to distract more than anything, which he's done a good job with. And he's bought himself time to build this tower. And TaToH builds his tower here on 3 of the farms from Viper, which is kind of a big deal. The problem with man-at-arms on this map, though, is you can't secure your base at home that easily. So I think TaToH will need a few spears. Well, oh, TaToH has left the area. Oh, this is messy. Viper is fighting with scouts and vills, and this is not easy to micro. TaToH has weak villagers. That one is going to die. It just ran into the TC. She is going to die. And even he could die as well. Oh, God. Viper's reaction to this was sick, honestly. But now he needs to be careful. He doesn't want to lose villagers. Unfortunately, his TC not doing enough to protect these guys. I don't think he can take this out. Oh, now he can. Wow, sick play from Viper. That's so tough to do. Oh, no! What Viper just did there to fight that, regardless of what happens with this tower, it's so tough to do, guys. Because there was spears there, and men-at-arms, so you have to avoid those units with your scouts. Then you have vills out there, and then you have to click the HP of your enemy units and see which one's weak and focus it down. It's pretty crazy. When you tower rush someone, it's not always about killing stuff, though. It's about getting good map control and about making their build awkward, and that's exactly what has happened here. Viper now has villagers going out here that are weak, and he doesn't have farmers working. And Viper's trying to add archer ranges to mix in some skirms and archers. And TaToH sees that. Now TaToH is going to repair this tower and be as stubborn as possible so Viper cannot collect any food. So I definitely don't think this is over for TaToH. He has lots of time still to add stuff at home. And this is a good engagement. You see, I said it was difficult. And TaToH getting the pickoffs. 2 scouts down, a spear down. And just like that, TaToH's back in the game, in my opinion. He could loop back around and consider killing these villagers, too. Back at home, TaToH, unthreatened. His eco, definitely more productive. And I don't know if he's sending more vills forward to build the tower. He is. He is. And he's added a few more man-at-arms. Now, the reason we see man-at-arms a lot from the Malians is because they have high pierce armor. So because of the pierce armor, it will take a while for these skirms and archers to kill these man-at-arms. And that's why TaToH can justify adding a few more. TaToH adding his own stable now. So if he mixes in a scout or 2, he can kill the skirms. And I don't think Viper can stop this tower from going up. These are 4 full HP vills. Viper's villagers are all exposed here and weak. TaToH could get game number 3 here in a moment, guys, if Viper cannot respond to this. Viper still cannot kill this tower. He still cannot farm. Look at all the idle time from Viper. This is not a fault of Vipers. This is just all TaToH causing this. This is what it's all about, and Viper will no longer have archery ranges soon. So tough. Viper can't defend this now because the tower's there. Viper will lose more farm space. TaToH has played this so well. And this is before the scouts show up, so Viper's not expecting the scout edition. I love how TaToH just kept his foot on the gas, pedal to the metal. He did not think, okay, I've done damage, let's go to Castle Age. He's still being a pest. Perfect map for it, honestly. And now Viper doesn't have berries. This farm, this farm, this farm he built he can't use. These farms he can't use. Hundreds of wood wasted. And he only has a stable remaining now. He hasn't even been on Stone Viper. And I think he's... Because remember, he can't take this stone. I think he's scouting for the other one with his Vil. There's one out there. There's one out here. There's one out here. Oh, and then this one, which he's just found. But I think TaToH has already taken a lot of map control away from him. The counter towers should have come a bit earlier. So this tower might finally go down, but that villager did so much. And TaToH considering running away now. And I think this is the moment where TaToH starts taking his foot off the gas. Oh, you know what? I'm wrong. He's getting scale barding armor, so apparently he wants to make some more scouts. I don't know why he's getting that upgrade, because he doesn't have any scouts left, right? Oh, he has 5. Okay, yeah. So he gets scale barding and bloodlines. This is something Viper hasn't seen. Again, he hasn't seen the additional scouts. And TaToH will probably go onto gold soon, start purchasing some food, and go closer to the Castle Age. Viper only has 45 food, and he does have the stone now to build one tower, but he has to build it in a good position. And if he doesn't see this from TaToH, oh, TaToH could GG him with this tower. Viper has not seen the Vils. He does not see that tower going up. Viper is trying to utilize the gold, which is getting raided, so he can buy his way to Castle Age, but he's losing Vils. He hasn't reacted to any of this. TaToH kills 2 villagers, 3 villagers, and it's going to be 4 and 5, and the GG's coming for sure. Like, this is just amazing from TaToH. The tower shows up at the same time the scouts show up. How sick was that game from TaToH? It's not often you see Viper completely outclassed. It's not often you see Viper GG 22 minutes in. That was sick stuff right there. Wow. Just the timing of that. He knew, okay, Viper might respond on the left and send military here, so I'll send the scouts to the right. And if Viper responds to the scouts on the right, he can't respond to the tower on the left. He killed... I mean, he denied so many farms from Viper. We'll see in a second when we see the eco stats. He killed the 2 archery ranges. That was just astounding from TaToH all around. I can't say enough about that performance. Here's the achievements. The KD, not telling the whole story there. This is what it came down to. So, TaToH, who was forward with villagers that were not collecting resources, he had 700 more food. The wood is interesting to me. I believe that Viper had so much wood banked up because he couldn't add farms and because he had to build more buildings and whatnot. And TaToH with more stone. Even the resource is not really telling there. As the game went on, TaToH was going to hit Castle Age first, and it would have been a bigger advantage for him shortly after killing those Vils. But what a game from TaToH. Alright, the next map is Gold Rush, guys. So if you want aggression, you're going to get more of it. It's best of 5. And TaToH could finish Viper off right here. Wow. Alright, so they've already launched. In 60 seconds game time will be in the match. Do I have any newbies to the stream today? Anybody stopping by for the first time? Feel free to say hello. I know you're out there. It's okay. Clemo, the civs they have remaining to pick. Sorry I didn't show it, but Berbers and Chinese for TaToH. Viper has Britons and Khmer. So he has to go Britons here. I feel like Chinese would be the pick for TaToH. Though I could see Berbers being picked as well. What's up, Pumpkin? It's so tough now. If you're actually new to the stream, it's so tough now because everybody says they're new. So, for the most part, I can tell when I've seen the name for the first time. But I have year-long subscribers saying they're new and everything. So, anyway, thank you guys for being here. It's good to see some new faces. Good to see some old faces as well. All faces are good. Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Game 4 between TaToH and Viper. This is the best of 5. Not a tournament, just for some cash and just for some fun. Guys, can we talk about this real quick? This map is Gold Rush. I saw these two players play Gold Rush last week, and TaToH completely deserved the win. But this was what the map layout was like. All the gold was close to Viper, and Viper ended up winning. Just look at this. How imbalanced is this map? This is unreal. It's not balanced at all. I feel so bad for TaToH. So if you guys wanted to see 5 games, there's a pretty good chance we might because Viper's so close to all the gold. I really need a moderator on the stream to start tallying up every single time Viper gets a big map advantage. Every single time, and then we can compare to some other Tyrant players just to see what the difference is. I've casted this guy enough. I mean, obviously it's just luck, right? But I've casted this guy enough to know that he gets a lot of favorable map positions. Of course, you have to know how to use them, and of course, I'm half kidding. Let's not take it too seriously, chat. But, yeah, Gold Rush is one of my favorite maps. TaToH certainly has the skill to beat Viper, as we've seen. Let's look at the layout here. So on Gold Rush, you get 2 starting gold piles, one with 4 tiles, one with 3. So that's 7 times 800. That's how much gold you get. You also get a little bit of stone. More often than not, it's wallable. So it's unfortunate for TaToH. He has this hill on the front as well, but he could just wall in the front here and protect his villagers in early game. So common strategy is a drush into fast castle and then crossbows for both of these civilizations, though we could see both go for scouts or man-at-arms even. Throughout the game though, and I'm talking mid-castle age, the focus will be on massing the most military to get control of the middle. If TaToH can get a castle up here, he can control this gold, he can even TC this. It's just that Viper, even if he doesn't have control of the center, can still get gold. And TaToH's scouting that now, and he's got to be thinking, what? The only small bad thing about Viper's base is it's not quite as wallable, but he has more space than TaToH in the back, and I think we'll have no issue walling here and walling here, and again, he's so close to the gold, it's just ridiculous, so he should be in a fine position. I don't know if the gold piles in the center is standard, Jacob, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gold piles. Now, I know you think I'm joking, but we've seen this from expert players a lot. If they scout the wolves, instead of making 3 militia, you could just make 1 militia, and you could collect the wolves, and you could do a woo-woo-woo rush and send the wolves to your opponent. I've seen that quite a few times. I've even seen players get kills with that. TaToH debates the TC fire, so Viper has a little bit of idle time. But he needs to run away. Yeah, the rest of the map is super good for Viper. He has back stones. All of this will be secured with walls. So Viper should have no complaints here. Also, because I've had a lot of questions about this recently on like Facebook Messenger, people have been messaging me. I should probably explain what debate means more often. So Viper himself says it a lot, and I've had people say that it's a term Viper invented and that it's, you know, like Google it, it's in the dictionary. No, it's a Twitch emote, so I'm sure people can show you debated. It all started with Twitch, and it's an emote that people use when someone gets baited into a decision. So if you tempt someone to come closer to your base and then you kill them with a mangonel, it's a debate, or it's a trick or something, right? So, yeah, that's the emote right there. Thank you, guys. Oh, Viper's getting caught out. Viper's getting caught out, and he gets the hill, but it doesn't matter. And TaToH, smart thinking there. Viper definitely not on the ball. He should have noticed that he was being lured back to TaToH's base, but TaToH gets a scout kill. And here comes Viper now with... See, again, this is sloppy for Viper. He's housed. So you see how he has to research Loom earlier. But yeah, he's drushing, and TaToH will get to see that. That's the big deal with the scout. Viper's scouting is pretty bad. He hasn't seen the layout of the middle of the map, really. He hasn't seen the layout of TaToH's base, but I think it would be much worse for him if there was no gold here and TaToH had all of it. This is all he needs to focus on. One could say the Viper just got debated. Exactly. Exactly. TaToH's going feudal, so it will be scouts for him, and Viper will go for a drush fast castle. So back in the day, 2 to 3 years ago, back when it was AOC and not these new civilizations, the Chinese were good picks, Aztecs, Mayans, Britons. Viper chose a lot. In fact, if you guys want some content to watch later, you should look this up. Mr. Yo versus Viper Gold Rush T90 series. Probably the best Gold Rush game ever. Easily top 5 in games I've ever casted ever. So, yeah, I've seen quite a few Gold Rush games, and what I'm getting at is the meta was to go for a drush, add extra economy at home, and then wall and go for a faster castle age option. And for Britons, that'll obviously be archers. I don't know if the title of the video says Mr. Yo, or if it says Yo, but Mr. Yo is called Yo and Mr. Yo, so. So I'm interested to see what TaToH does here. It feels like he's going to go forward. When your opponent is going for this strategy, they're vulnerable because they only have those 3 militia that are delaying you, and they are not planning on making a lot of feudal age military. They just want to have a lightning fast feudal and go to castle. So the normal response when someone does this, and you see they're still in Dark Age at 12 minutes, is you go forward. And Viper doesn't have a scout to see this. He might get Vil picks out here, because he's delaying these Vils. TaToH, yeah, he's having a rough time here. This drush has been effective for Viper. It's not necessarily meant to kill Vils, it's just meant to delay economy. Can Viper notice this? And if he notices it, how does he respond? He's in feudal age now, Viper, and forward archer range from TaToH. Wow. Okay. Viper has deer safely in the right-hand corner. So not just 4 deer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 deer that he's been able to mill. Whereas TaToH, where were TaToH's deer? TaToH's deer were way out here, and he only had 4. So there's a lot of T90 hacks things going on here. He's getting so many resources, and Viper's about to click up to the castle age. So he had 6 deer. He had 6 gold piles closer to him. He doesn't have a hill. He doesn't even have the wolves closer to him. Anything that could possibly give the guy an issue, he just doesn't have next to him. It actually annoys me. Like, again, I've cast a lot of tournaments and I experienced this. You would think that if any map hacks existed, anyone but Viper would deserve them. Because Viper doesn't need it. But anyway, let's see. This is what TaToH needs to do. He needs to apply pressure with the skirms. The spears will do nothing for Viper. Even the archers from Viper will not contribute much to this. TaToH, though, he needs to well, I was going to say he needs to cancel this tower. He needs to be careful at least. 85%, I don't see him getting this up. He needs to run. And good counter tower from Viper. Oh, is TaToH microing this? Yeah. Not great for TaToH. He loses a forward Vil. The one thing that TaToH has going for him is for that amount of time, Viper wasn't on gold. And Viper, he doesn't have much military to push out just yet. TaToH needs to continue to be annoying, stay on the front, and just keep Viper at home so we can get to Castle Age. I like this tower a lot, especially right now. Viper can probably pick off the weak woman, but TaToH's wise to it. Really high level stuff here, just focusing on the small things. Viper now gets additional range, that's important. But they're still just archers, and so the tower goes up. This tower will range half of Viper's gold, so Viper will want to push this down if he can. Skirm's just not getting fletching for TaToH. He hops in the tower, he will fire on the archers, and this is exactly what TaToH needed. Putting Viper under pressure, buying himself some time. TaToH needs to track this. He needs to track this. Please don't take the map hacks thing too seriously. I think a lot of people, especially people who are Viper fans, like, get slightly annoyed by that. Like, I'm diminishing Viper's accomplishments. That's not what I'm doing at all. Really what it is, when you're as good as Viper and you get a map like this, you know how to use it almost every single time. I'm sure there are lots of instances, as TaToH takes a great engagement, there are lots of instances where players get good maps and throw with their position, right? It's just that Viper, he knows how to make any map look good. But I say that, and Viper, with 7 range versus 5 range, loses those crossbows, and now TaToH's building another tower here on this gold. Now TaToH is still forever feudal at this point, so he needs to keep this up, right? He sent more vills forward, but he kills another one of 2 more of TaToH's crossbows. And Viper's fighting with villagers out here against scouts and next to 2 towers. TaToH will keep this guy. No, he'll lose him. It's just, does he have enough now to kill Viper? I think he has to hop outside of his tower and repair. He's killed 2 of Viper's vills. Oh my goodness. The tower stays up. Surely Viper loses another one. He does. He loses 3 total here. That villager dies and this villager dies. Holy shit. Look at the vill difference. It's 36 villagers. 37 versus 27 now. Viper's just falling apart. TaToH is playing out of his mind today. He's still in Feudal Age on a map which was significantly worse for him. And he's pressuring Viper, who's in Castle Age. And Viper has to delete the additional archery range. He's scrambling so much. Have you ever seen Viper panic like this? He's fighting with vills still, and he's in Castle. He can't afford to do much. Another vill will drop there. And TaToH's just building a line of towers on the front. Now, let's not forget, TaToH still doesn't have the options that Viper does. But this is Gold Rush, and the ultimate goal is to get to the center area, or in this case, Viper's side of the map, to get the gold. TaToH doing a wonderful job. 26 kills and 9 deaths. In my opinion, Viper should have added a siege workshop pretty early after he hit Castle. The trouble is, after he lost his crossbows, even the siege workshop doesn't offer too much to him, because the scouts from TaToH could pick everything off. Viper calls the GG. Are you kidding me? The best of 5 ends right there, and Viper calls the GG. I was just about to toggle between the resources of the players, and I was expecting to find very little in the bank for Viper, and I expected to see him in a position where he couldn't transition or add anything else. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Just goes to show you it's how you play the map. It is not the map itself. I touched on that before everything fell apart for Viper. TaToH wins 3-1 in a best of 5 versus Viper. He deserves a lot of credit for how he played this game, because it's not easy. Not easy. And Viper's Drush was extremely effective too. Don't forget that. TaToH didn't lose any vills to that, but he had lots of idols. That's the best game for me out of the best of 5. How TaToH played that was just sick. It's so easy to lose that situation. If Viper found one opportunity to counter, TaToH would have nothing at home, and he could lose everything. That's impressive stuff. He's deserving of the $100. And Pistello quotes Viper and says, "Best of 5 is good since it'll only be 3 games." Viper, yeah, he did say that. He did say that. He was wrong. So there's the KD for you. That just comes down to styles of play, guys. But TaToH, of course, having more eco because of the extra villagers. And Viper's 1,000 gold did nothing for him. That's the end of the best of 5. Is it Elton? Eaton. Eaton Live says